Hello everybody and welcome back to Rebellious Menstruation and the first part of the ModiBodi review. This was after the July period. So this is a classic full brief in green. I actually definitely would have gone back and purchased more of these, but by the time I actually tried them out and tested them out, I went back to the website and they were all sold out in this color. I think there's only black left now, and so I'm going to have to wait for the next color release. All of these fitted. This one actually fitted probably a little bit bigger than the others. These are all the same size, by the way. These, probably the worst fit was these blue ones, and they were just a bit difficult in being a bit tight. This one here crinkled around the top here, so I'm not sure if you can see it. So these are the seam-free briefs. So this one, this peach, the blue, and the purple were all seam-free. This I guess elastic. I don't even know if it's elastic at the top, but well, this top bit crinkled like the first time I wore them. So I don't know what to do with that, because these are a size up from what I would normally wear, and once I got them on, they fit perfectly fine, it may be the material, because this actually fit very big, but again, this the elastic around here is a little bit kind of shoddy. I don't know why, being how big the fit is in general for these green ones, but I definitely would have ordered more of this classic brief in this green color in cotton, and this was also the heavy one, but they had just sold out in this color, which is kind of, I guess, what happens at ModiBodi is they have most of the colors in black and beige and then release specialty colors, but these specialty colors obviously sell out relatively quick. I probably wouldn't have bought anyone for a while if they didn't have these colors come in. Again, this is another heavy, and it's this kind of blue polka dot variety, and then there is this peach variety. These feel very fake, this kind of the outside area of it, but this is the seam-free variety, and then this purple pear, which is another heavy. This one came out perfectly fine, but again, this part at the top, again, they fit fine, and they actually fit a bit loose because they're the size up than what I would normally wear. So it's just this top bit that just turned out exceptionally weird, but I guess that's what happens. I don't know. And this is another heavy. This purple is another heavy, and so this is the 4 that I have. Look, I wore these by themselves, so in the afternoon when I got home from work. Obviously be aware if you were testing out new stuff. I did try to necessarily always test them at outside. These were just tested at home this time. Next time I will test them outside the house, because I know that they did not leak anywhere. I wore, I think it was this blue pair, for about 4 hours on my heavy day just by itself, and just let them go and to see how it would work. If you saw my review on the Acalia period underwear, I wore them by themselves, and it, like, within an hour and a half had bled through the gusset and outside, and these are meant to be the heavy period underwear, and so I was actually quite disappointed that didn't work out so well. But with ModiBodi, that did not happen. I did not bleed through the so this is the gusset in here. As you can see, the heavy actually kind of runs from right up the back and about 2/3 of the way up the front, and this gusset is made from, they do actually tell you, the gusset is 100% smart merino, 80% polyester, 20% polyamide, 100% polyester. I'm assuming that's the external. Exclude trim, and then you run under cold water. So this is the heavy overnight. But this in the 3 hours caught, or 4 hours, 4 hours caught everything. This actually as much as this outside bit here feels horrible and gross, this inside bit here does not make you sweat. I think that was the other thing that I had a massive issue with the Acalio period underwear, is that because of the gusset that they use, you literally sweat. Like there's a sweat running around, you know, in an area that's already hot, moist, and bloody. This did not happen with this underwear. This gusset here does not make you feel sweaty or hot or gross at all. And this took 4 hours of heavy bleeding. It did take a while to rinse out, obviously, because it was 4 hours of heavy bleeding, but I had nil issue with the absorbency and the heavy absorbency of this. On my heavy days, I can bleed up to 30 mil, which is basically half of my period on one day. I can just be that heavy. I wouldn't have bled 30 mils in 4 hours, but I would have bled, you know, a significant amount, probably 8 to 10 mil. I can, you know, probably less, probably 5 to 8 mil in that 3 or 4 hours, and this took it perfectly fine. So there was no issues in the fact that they actually, when I wore them by themselves, I wore all of these at some point over this my second July cycle, because these came, I think, just after my first July cycle, so they just missed the cycle before that, but came in time for the second one. That's actually what happened with my Bonds period underwear, is they missed my second July cycle, but will come in time for my August cycle. But other than that, so the first update review for these is that they are amazing, in the fact that the outside feels disgusting, but the inside does not make you sweat. The inside actually absorbed an impressive amount of blood, and they worked relatively well, outside the fact that I don't like how they feel, and the outside bit, don't know, elastic bit has warped bit. This one feels a lot better. This is cotton. It feels significantly better to touch and to wear. I think this is the heavy overnight one as well. Yep, there we go, heavy overnight. I've worn this one by itself, so if I order one in the future, I'll order definitely more of these. I do have more of these ordered. I think of the purple and this blue one, because they had a sale on the seam free, so I got some more purple and blue in the heavy overnight, and so they will feature in the second part of this review, and the third part most likely. But if ModiBodi comes on sale again, I'll definitely be ordering more of the cotton brief in the heavy overnight. But this is part 1 of the review for the July review, and I'll see you in August. Hello everybody, this is going to be the second update for the ModiBodi review, but it's also going to be the last one at this point, because I think I've mentioned in other recent videos, I am currently moving across the other side of the country. For people in America, I'm basically moving from LA to New York. That's the type of distance that I'm doing, but I'm moving more to an environment that probably is more an example of Florida, because it's quite humid and hot. However, this usually I test things out for 3 months, as you all know, and then you'll get the kind of completed review at the end. But I am going to be flying when I have my period at this time, or just at the end of my period, should I say. And I don't know when I'll be able to do more videos. It probably won't be for a couple of weeks. So my channel will probably be a little bit silent for a couple of weeks, just because I won't be able to do any filming or any videos, or until I can get myself established over that side of the country. I'll be staying with family in the interim. but that is not always the best or the most conducive to filming. So my last period for August, I actually wore ModiBodi the entire day. I actually wore it from Saturday night. I woke up on Sunday morning with my period, and I wore ModiBodi the entire Saturday and Sunday night. And then on Monday I wore a cup because I was at work. And then I wore it, like, from when I got home, I removed my cup and wore my ModiBodi that night and overnight. And so this one here is the one that I wore overnight on Saturday. This is the moderate, so it just has coverage in this gusset here, but as I was just I knew I was just about to get it, I was never going to particularly bleed too much that day anyway. These ones here are all heavies and overnights, because I just tend to be a heavy bleeder, and moderates aren't necessarily going to be adequate for me in my first 2 days. And so I basically kind of switched between these ones and this one. I think this is the one I wore first up. I actually wore this one first up, which is the cotton full brief, and these are the seam free briefs. Just a comment on material. I prefer these ones. I prefer cotton in general for underwear. So this green pair probably is, I really actually like. I think they've sold, when I went back to go buy more green of the of this kind of heavy overnight, they had sold out, and now the colour is discontinued. So they only have black, I think, that's available. So I'm not kind of interested in black because I already have my Love Luna who are in black. So I'm really looking at colorways for other period underwear. So this is the only one I have in the cotton heavy overnight, just because it was I bought it and then it had sold out by the time I went back. So I wore this one. I also walked about 20 minutes down to a local cafe and had morning tea, and went to the shops and walked about 20 minutes back. I was wearing it about 3.5 hours, and that wasn't a problem. I think by the time I got back, I was feeling a little bit wet, just a little bit, not too disturbing, but I think it was just because this was really the big kind of first time that I've worn it out and around, and I had only worn period underwear for ModiBodi as well. I've only worn Love Luna out of the house, but that's obviously because I'd tested them before I did that. But they held up perfectly fine. When I got back to the house, I then changed into one of these. I pretty much for the rest of the day switched in between these two. They're both heavy, they're just different. They're both full brief seam free in, I think the colours are Dusk and Midnight, I think is what they call them, and this one's Jade. And Helio. I think this one's Helio and this one's Midnight. And this moderate is Dusk and this is Jade. I think they're the colours that they call them. And I wore them overnight. So by Sunday night, I was quite heavy. And I had, obviously by then, kind of at my period had ramped up a bit, but I wore it overnight because the worst that could happen was that I bled onto my sheets. And they can also be cleaned, and I really wanted to see if the ModiBodi held out up overnight. They did. It was quite full in the morning though, but I did not leak, and it did not go anywhere. One thing that I noticed with the Acalia period underwear, I think I pointed it out in the review, is with the Acalia underwear, I bled it right through and right around. So when I had taken them off, all of this was bloody, essentially. That did not happen with the ModiBodi, so I did not bleed through them, and I also did not bleed around them. There was a spot right up here on the corner, But if you have been following my channel for a while, you do know, or I've probably said before, I too tend to bleed out over the side, and I would have bled out over the side if I'd been wearing a pad anyway. So I don't really think that that was specific to the ModiBodi. That's more specific to the style that I bleed rather than the style of the protection that I'm wearing. And that was only once did I have a little dot up here, and that's again, as I've said just then, that's happened on some of the heavies that I've been wearing. So that did not happen with the ModiBodi. I did not come through here or around here, which is what had happened with the Acalia, which is why the Acalia got my much worse review, because they didn't do as described. Whereas the ModiBodi do. They did last overnight. For those of you who don't know, these come right up the back, but they do not come the whole way up the front. So that's the thing. So if you were a stomach sleeper, I'm not sure how these would go, because they don't have that protection up the front of the underwear, whereas the Love Luna do have the padding higher in the front. So maybe this is not going to be as useful for you if you are a front beater, but if you are a black back bleeder, this is actually what will work. So and I'm a side sleeper, so it worked, and I didn't leak when I did any of that. So that is that. So all in all, it was actually quite a positive experience, outside of the fact that I am not a big fan of this fabric particularly, and also possibly not the biggest fan of the limited colours available. I think the style that has the most wide range of colours is the bikini style, which I think has about 6 variety of colours. Most of their underwear and most of their styles of underwear have between 2 and 4 colours, and then they release limited edition colours. This dusk, this jade, actually all of these were limited edition releases, allegedly. So we may or may not be able to see these again. They have released a new set of colorways to order from, mainly in the seam free, it looks like. So again, and even then, because obviously I wear a larger style of underwear, they sell out exceptionally quickly. Not a lot of companies obviously cater to larger women or larger styles, and that also means that the companies that do, like ModiBodi, sell out exceptionally fast. So they kind of announce a new color, and they sell out almost within 24 hours of that style. In any style over, say, size 16, they are sold out. So that's probably because they're one of the few companies who do period underwear for, I think they go up to 26 in some of their styles, which I think is 6 extra large. So they do, because of the wide variety of style and ranges that they have, but they do tend to sell out in the upper sizes very quickly. So that's neither here nor there. I guess you just have to keep an eye out for the for when they release these dates, or when they are releasing their styles. So there's that. Outside of that, I did not leak through them. I am quite heavy. Essentially your average period should be between 40 and 80 mils. I bleed between 60 and 75 mils depending on the period, and I will generally bleed between 30 and 35 mils in about a 24 to 20 to 30 hour period, so over kind of one day. And these held up perfectly fine. Bear in mind that I do change every 3 hours, especially when I'm heavy, so that I do not encounter a situation where I'm going to go over or spill. However, I did actually wear them overnight, and they did hold up. If I don't respond to any of your comments or questions, just be aware that it's probably because I am on the move and unable to necessarily get the information to answer your questions. Outside of that, I hope this review actually helps you. I will link their website down below. If I'm still doing YouTube in a year, I will do an updated review on how these underwear have held up over the year, and to see if any of them need replacing. I will link their website down below so you can go check them out. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy your morning, afternoon or evening, depending on where you are in the day, and I'll catch up with you all in the next video. Bye everyone.